Hey, family, welcome to the Daylight Experience. This is a sacred space for healing, hope, and transformation. I'm your girl, Monica Day, and today we're exploring a topic that sits at the intersection of pain and silence, cultural norms, how they shape us, protect us, and even perpetuate domestic violence. This episode is for every woman who's ever been told to stay for the kids, keep the family together, pray harder. It's for those who've been silenced by tradition, religion, or shame, and who are now ready to reclaim their voice. Let's get into it. Domestic violence doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in homes, communities, and cultures that often have unspoken rules. Rules that can make it harder for survivors to speak up, leave, or even recognize the abuse that they're experiencing. Let's talk about a few of those cultural norms that contribute to silence. One, family matters stay in the home. What happens in this house stays in this house. In many cultures, airing family issues is considered betrayal. Survivors are told to protect the image of the family, even if it means hiding their own pain. I'm sure that we all know someone that experienced something growing up and it got brushed up under the rug. Maybe a family member got sent away, but nobody ever talked about it, ever. It was never addressed. There was no healing, no counseling, no nothing. It just was under the rug, and we went on with our lives and acted like nothing happened. All right. Number two, submission is strength. Now, in some religions or traditional teachings, women are taught that obedience is God, even when it leads to suffering. This can blur the line between spiritual devotion and emotional imprisonment. We hear that term very often about women being submissive to their husbands. The Bible says, submit to one another. Yeah, some people might need to go back to chapter 9. So, women are often taught that they are to obey their husbands, that they submit to them in every area of their lives. Number three, a good woman endures. There's a romanticized idea of the woman who sacrifices everything for love and family. She endures without safety. And that's not strength. That's surviving. That's called survival. Um, and when you're in a relationship and you're married or loving somebody, I shouldn't have to be just surviving. That's not what love is about, surviving the night. trying to figure out how I'm gonna survive, how I'm gonna keep you from killing me. That's not what love is. Love is. Stop it with that already. No. Here's one for you. He's still your husband. Okay. In cultures where marriage is sacred and divorce is taboo, many women may be pressured to stay in abusive relationships to avoid shame and rejection. This, in most cases, in almost every case, leads to years, even decades of silent suffering. I have counseled women who have stayed in relationships for years. I mean, decades. Like you married them when you were early 20s and you 60 something years old. And the only reason you're not in that marriage anymore is because he died. Yeah, he my husband, but he don't get to kill me. He doesn't get to beat me. I should not have to survive every night. I'm not trying to, it's just really sad that women take the brunt of the abuse. And then when the marriage ends, people looking at them crazy, like, oh, honey, they got a divorce and he did this to her. And, but when y'all gonna put some blame on him? Why do victims get blamed for what they've been through? Somebody help me with that. And then, of course, if people are already saying he's still your husband, then of course she's already worried about people gossiping, judging, community backlash. Um, and oftentimes these are things that keeps victims silent. These are the women that got beat up last night, but they wearing a long sleeve shirt or a turtleneck to a spring party or a spring event, or she got a black eye, but she wearing sunglasses inside at a meeting during the day because she worried, she trying to keep up appearances and she's trying to continue her life, but she know that if she don't come, y'all gonna talk about it. And then if you see her eye, you're gonna talk about that. So what is she to do? These norms don't just silence survivors, they protect abusers. Silence gives abusers power. And trust me when I tell you, they use it to their advantage. They do. Healing begins with breaking silence. That's when the healing begins. When you can start talking about what you're experiencing, what you've been through. Because even if you leave and you never talk about the abuse, you still, those feelings, everything, those experiences, everything you've been through, that hurt, that pain is still caged up inside of you. And you cannot get completely free until you talk, until you stop being silent about what you have experienced. For all the survivors listening, here's the truth. You are allowed to choose you. It's okay to choose yourself. You are allowed to walk away from any pain, hurt, harm, or danger. or anything that no longer serves you. It's okay. You are allowed to rewrite the story, even if it goes against tradition. It's okay that your mom and dad stayed together for 50, 60 years, but your marriage ended after 10. It's okay. It's, it's not your fault. It just didn't work out. And that should not be a life sentence. Listen, when I was leaving my abusive marriage, and I remember my ex saying he was gonna tell this and he was gonna tell that. And when I was finally at the end, I remember I laughed and I looked at him and I said, "You tell this any way you want to tell it, as long as you tell them it's over." And I meant that with everything in me. Because if you know abusers, they will tell their version of the story, honey. And you did this, you done committed murder, you've done all these things that you never even thought of. And most of it is stuff that they did, but they're now projecting it onto you. But like I told him, honey, at that point, I'm worried about what nobody thought. I don't care nothing about what nobody said. I don't care how you tell this story. I don't care what version of this story you tell. As long as you tell them it's over. That was it. That was it. Just make sure you say that it's over. I know that this probably was a heavy topic for some people. So I just want to take a minute to let's breathe and reflect. Place your hand over your heart. If you're in a safe space, close your eyes and just breathe in. Breathe in real deep and then breathe out slowly. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep breathing. In and out. Repeat after me. I am not bound by silence. In, I honor my truth even when it challenges tradition. Mm, safety, safe. Yeah. If you are a journaler like me, you like to write in your journal, I have a soul care prompt for you. Take some time this week and write in your journal. And here's the question: what cultural messages have shaped how I see myself? Let me say it again. What cultural messages have shaped how I see myself? Write that question down in your journal. Answer it. Write down all of those cultural messages that have dictated your life and made you feel and think the way you do about you, the way you live, the way you move. And then after you write them all down, I want you to ask yourselves, Which of these do I want to release? Which of these no longer serve me? I would love to hear from you. You think about these things, take time to reflect on them. Thank you for sharing this space with me. If today's episode stirred something in you, please share it with someone who needs light. Healing isn't just personal, it's cultural. And every time we speak truth, we shift the norm. Please remember, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are becoming. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Daylight Experience.